I'm sure make that bigger.
I'd like to welcome everyone here tonight. Thank you for coming. Start off the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand. Well, please. Can I have a roll call, please?
Carol.
We'll need a roll call for both boards.
Okay, I have a line here. If I go past that line, it's gonna squeal, so I have to stand all the way over here. Okay, we will start with the roll board. Tom Clark,
Here.
Jay Ressler. He is not here. Sorry, Jay is not here, and Karen is not here. Catherine, Karen, Suji, Bob, Joe.
Here.
On the Greenbrier board, Mark. Alan.
Yeah.
Jack.
Here.
Chester.
Sorry, I jumped the gun.
And Wayne.
Here.
Thank you.
Jack, are you on Zoom?
I gotta find him. Where? Under review?
Well, I mean, and Jenny and Karen are both under the weather tonight, so they won't be here, and we hope that they'll be feeling better in the next couple of days. We do have a presentation for you tonight. Based on the last few meetings we've had, we had a lot of concerns in regards to the security
Jack is not
and
on
how
here.
the company plan has been working with us on this. So, we've invited them to come down and speak to you directly tonight, make a presentation to you. They've had a very long day, and so have many of the board members, but we're going to have them make about a 15-minute presentation. And we're going to probably have to limit the amount of time for Q&A with them to about 15 minutes. But we'll do our best to try to get all your concerns addressed and questions that you may have. But we are going to have to limit. So in saying that, I'd like to ask the representatives from Plan to please come.
They're saying that
microphone
they
here.
can't hear.
I'm assuming it's working. No, you're gonna move to the. Yeah. Thank you. Check. Yes, oh, good. If you can introduce yourself and to the members and go into your presentation. Oh, thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you all for your time this evening. My name is Astrid, nicknamed Tony Garana. I'm the Chief Operating Officer of Four Plains Companies. We are fortunate enough to provide security and janitorial services in your community. I've been with the company for 24 years now. I've been in the industry for about 31, so pretty much my entire adult life, I've been doing this for a living. I will let the team introduce themselves in a little bit, but for plant companies, real quick, we're the largest provider of janitorial, maintenance, security, and concierge services in the state of New Jersey. We've been around for over 100 years, and we appreciate being here and providing the services to you.
I guess I'll just introduce the rest of the team and I'll get into some of the details, but we are here today as a result of management, the board, and they expressed all of the concerns that you had. I got a call from Michael Mandillo the other day and said you need to address a lot of the issues, and we've been working very close to with management and the board to get them taken care of. We believe that we addressed a lot of them, and I want to go through all of them. But as things come up, know that it's our intention to address them and make sure that you feel very secure and comfortable within the community. So I'm going to let Joe, I guess, introduce himself and what he does for the company.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for your time tonight. My name is Joe Panetta. I'm Director of Operations for Plant Companies. I have been in the industry for the last 15 years, the janitorial, security, and maintenance industry. I've been with Plant Companies for the last 7 years now, next month. And my role within Plant Companies is Director of Operations for South New Jersey and Pennsylvania, so which encompasses Whittingham here itself. So thank you for your time tonight.
Good evening, everybody. My name's Paul Payne. I'm the operations manager. So I oversee all the operations that are going on in your community right now. Give you a little background on myself here. I grew up, born and raised in New Jersey. After I graduated high school, joined the United States Marine Corps, did 4 years in the Marine Corps as a military police officer, spent over some time in Zagreb, Croatia with the UN, some time with, in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, back in the early 90s. Once I got out of there, I worked with a private investigator and a security company called DB Kelly Associates. From there, I moved on to law enforcement. I did 25 and a half years with Bridgewater Police Department. I made it from the rank of patrol officer all the way up to chief of police. During that time period, I was able to establish numerous programs, but my main concern as chief was to reduce liability. So when I was able to have the opportunity to work with Plant Companies here, I jumped on the opportunity. I've been with them for a little less than a year right now, but my main thing is to address liability, get liability for our company and for your community down to a minimum, to accidentally or actually none if possible. So that's a little bit of background on me. I'll probably take most of your questions. And obviously, if you ever have any problems, I will give you my number so you guys can reach out to me. All right. Thank you.
All right. He's a natural. He's done this. Well, thank you. So I thought it was important for you to know his background and that he's the person that's in charge of security. So as I said before, we heard your concerns. We took them seriously. We had internal meetings. And while we're not perfect, we certainly strive for it. And we know that there were legitimate issues and concerns that you brought up. And we want to make sure that we address them. So, you know, one of the concerns that was brought up was about the guards not answering the phones and being rude. That's absolutely a no-no. That's the first thing that gets trained with us. It was unfortunate to hear that that was happening. But since that, we've trained all of the guards that are on site, and Paul's going to make sure that they continue to do that. Feedback from you is important to go through management. That's the only way we can gauge if we're making the needed impact with them. But every single one of them was trained. There were scripts that were given in how they should properly answer the phone, what they should say, and what information they need to take from you. So I'm hoping that if anybody called in the last couple of weeks, that you've noticed the difference and that you've seen that some things have changed. If not, hopefully, whenever you do need to call next time, if you have any kind of negative feedback or positive feedback, I would appreciate it if you pass it on to management, and we'll work with them to make sure that we address it. Like I said before, we wish that we would never have any issues. We strive for perfection, but things are going to happen. We are not here every single moment from the management side, and we need your feedback so we could make this better and better, but you have our commitment to make it better. There was an issue about the garage doors being open and our guards not calling anybody to close them. That was also addressed. We made sure that all of that is in the SOP. Every associate was trained on all of the procedures, and they are going to make the calls needed to make sure that that's done. So if nobody answers the phone, they're going to provide that information to the sergeant that's on duty at the guard booth, and they're going to fill in an incident report and make sure that we keep track of all that information. I'm sorry? Oh, sorry. We'll have the questions later. So I'll try to not bore you and get through this, but I want you to know that we worked on a lot of that stuff. Not knowing where the prospect gate is, we did have some turnover and there were some changes, but it's part of the SOP now where every person that's get introduced to the property, we bring them around, we show them all of it, and they need to sign off that they understand where everything is and clearly where, you know, what their job and their responsibilities are. The guards found sleeping. That's a big one, right? It was embarrassing to hear about it. That's not what we do. Security in general is used as a deterrent for anybody that's up to no good, right? And if the guard is sleeping, they're out doing what they need to do. So that was very unfortunate, and I could only apologize for that. But in order to combat that and address it, we've ordered dash cams that we're going to install within the vehicle, and that it's going to be recorded all the time. So every time somebody's in a vehicle, there is a recording that's on. We also have a GPS that was already installed in the vehicles. So anytime the vehicle is idle for more than X amount of time, we're going to get an alert. So Paul's going to get an alert, and he's going to be able to address it and call the guard and say, what happened? What are you up to and what are you doing? Obviously, our oversight management supervision is going to continue. We do a lot of spot checks. We don't do scheduled visits on site. It could be 2 in the morning, it could be 5 in the morning, it could be 2 in the afternoon, and those are always going to continue. Besides Joe and Paul, we have 2 other associates that are involved in oversight. And between all of them, we're very confident that we're going to address all of the issues that we've had and that you guys brought up to us. As far as the the verification, I know that there's been some feedback about why do the guards need to verify that you are who you say you are if you have the sticker in the vehicle. That is for your safety. That is something that you could lend somebody your car. It's the right thing to do. I know it takes a little bit of time, but through the time where we get some longevity with the guards, they're going to get to know you, and you'll be able to pass through. And I see that you're not happy about that one, but I'll take your questions and we'll certainly look into it, and we'll work with management and the board to address it further. As far as the selection process, look, we're a publicly traded company. We do background checks on all of our associates. We verify their prior employment. Paul makes sure that they have the needed experience. So we're not just going to put anybody on your property. It's a liability for us. It's a liability for you. We've built our business through word of mouth for the most part, and by doing the things that we say we're going to do. So we are very critical in who comes in. The labor market was difficult and challenging over the last few years. It has gotten a lot better now, but I think finally we are in a position where we have a stable staff and the turnover has stopped, and we don't have to have those floaters coming in and covering. I think I covered most of the stuff here. Paul, is there anything that you wanted to add, or no? Yeah. So that's it. I don't know how I did with time. I think I did okay with time, but I guess we could go into some questions.
Okay, so if anyone has any questions, unfortunately, we're gonna have to have you share the microphone here by the podium. So, if you have a question in regard with plan, please come to the microphone.
I could bring it to you.
Okay,
Thank you.
name and address for the record.
Marcia Forrest, 11 Whitehall Road. Thank you for noticing my displeasure when you explained what you explained. It happened to me on Monday because the residence gate was down, and I didn't realize it until I got there because the cones weren't far enough back. So I immediately swung over to the visitor's gate. So I have white hair, and I had 2 other residents in my car. Both of them had white hair. And I say this for, do we look like we're going to break in? Come on. So I say this. I'll get you. So now there's a lineup of cars behind me. And I said to the guard, what happened to the gate? He said, it's broken. I said, well, obviously. So he said, your name and address, please. So I said, I have a barcode. He said, this is security. We need your name and address. So there's a little back and forth. And I finally gave it to him, and I was really annoyed. He said, everyone has a barcode. But here's the question. If the residence gate wasn't broken, I would have sailed right through if it was working. So now it's broken, and he has to stop me a criminal waste all this time when cars are backed up behind me because his explanation was everyone has a barcode? I don't understand how that's affecting my security. And also, could you repeat the protocol if that's what you're going to be doing from now on?
Thank you. Our intention is not to make it harder for you to come home. And, you know, we are a customer service agent, right? That's what we have to be. If somebody is rude, and we're going to address that, and I think we've addressed that. Okay, that. Well, I'm sorry that that's your feeling, but perhaps it's our doing, right? Because we wanted to make sure that there is the verification process, and we felt that if a few people are going to be stopped a little bit longer, and you feel that you're going to be spending another 2, 3, 4 minutes at the gate, that it is for the security, and that we control access for people that come in. However, if the majority of the residents here and the homeowners feel the same way as you do, we will work with management and we'll work with board to see if that's something that needs to be addressed. But from our perspective and our experience as a security provider, we are doing exactly what you would want us to do. While we're going to inconvenience you for a few minutes, we ask for your patience. We're doing it to make sure that people don't get through.
At 6:30 that evening, a friend who lives here came in. The gate still wasn't fixed. Had a barcode. They waved him right through. A week before, a friend of mine was coming in with her son in her son's car, no barcode. Her son pulled up at the gate and he said, "I'm taking my mother home. Go ahead in." So my friend said, "Do you know who I am?"
Okay. We should be consistent, and we are. But if the guard knows you and has seen you and has verified you a day ago, a week ago, we're not going to necessarily stop you and ask you to confirm again. This is going to happen as they all get to know each and every one of you. You are going to be waved in. I say, please trust the process. Know that we're doing this for you. I am sorry for that little inconvenience, but it is for the greater good. And we're going to get to a place where we're all going to know each other and be able to wave you on and welcome you home.
Okay, all right, thank you. Is there any other questions?
Wow, you guys sat in the front row.
When someone, Lorraine Russo, where are you?
Name and address
Yeah,
for the
Lorraine
record.
Russo, 18 Westminster Drive. When someone gets a new car, what is the procedure? I had a friend who got a new car about a month ago, came back one day and said, "Can you please put the code on my car?" "I can't do it today. I'm busy. Come back tomorrow." Came back tomorrow, asked the same question. "I can't do it today. Come back." The next day, he said to the third person, "Why can't you do this?" And he said, "I don't know how." So have they been trained properly to do this? Because I, for one, when I get a new car, do not want to be in the back of that line.
You want to ask the question too? We'll address both at the same time, or?
Sandra Levin, 20 Westminster Drive. I wanted to ask the procedure to make, if somebody was coming and they weren't on the list, you had a call, is that still gonna be? And if you get to call, will they call you at home? Okay, now how many people are on the permanent list? Or should be on the permanent list? Because I have 4 children and I still have a housekeeper that comes in and I have an aide that comes in twice a week. And one day my aide was not able to get in and she had a sign on and she was turned away and she had to call me from the road. Excuse me?
Hold on.
We'll address.
Tony,
Thank you. Yeah.
Tony, is there a question, an answer to that on yours?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, Paul will take it.
So the first one is the barcodes, right? We're looking at the barcodes. Okay, so, yes, going back to yours with the barcode too, as well as yours too. No, but I know you were talking about barcodes. We do have them challenge the people coming in every now and then to ask them for the last four of the phone number. It's just a security precaution we're doing to make sure that you're not borrowing my car or somebody else. I know what you're saying with the gate being open, they can jump right through with the Scantron. Yours is going back to the four, right? Four people and guest call aheads, right? So they are getting the call aheads. They are verifying. I know when I've sat at the gatehouse and people have called in, I ask what dress, what's your name? Do you want to call ahead even though they're at the gate? So they are starting to get into that process. As far as the barcodes and issuing them, yes, they do come there to do the barcodes. Residents do with their cards. Sometimes they do get busy. They ask them to come back, but it is in their standard operating procedure how to do a barcode. And my site lead, Laura Thompson, who's ACES with getting everybody trained, has gone over that procedure numerous times with them. It's a simple process. I've actually did one by myself too as well. So, but we are addressing it. No, we should, yes, we should try to address it.
Okay. We appreciate the feedback. We'll certainly look into that. We appreciate the feedback. We'll certainly look into that, and it shouldn't be, right? This is, again, customer service, and we have to make sure that we're addressing it the first time. And I'm sorry about your experience. We're going to look into it, but it shouldn't be that difficult for us to follow something, unless there was an emergency that they're all deployed somewhere else or doing, but we will look into it and address it for sure. Any other questions? Yeah. Yes, sir.
I'm Raj from 15C, Rutland Lane. One thing I liked that you said that you guys are not perfect. Nobody's perfect. We know that. When we talk about security, what defines security itself? What defines security? Okay. Thank you. We have two sides of entrances, one from Concordia, one from the other side, right? One from Concordia, one from the other side, right? We have two entrances. One side we have security guards, other sides we don't have anything, right? We don't have. People can just walk in, or people can just come on the bikes and come in, right? We have our cars in our driveways, and they're professionals. They know how to open the cars. Now, there's a good thing and bad thing that we have stickers on the cars. The good thing is that we are coming from outside, we can enter without anybody's help. We can just come in, right? Doors open. But from the other side, if these people steal our cars, we have stickers. It's so easy to take our cars out from the complex. Are there any cameras or any kind of things which can prevent us?
Okay.
I'm sorry. Let me just ask him.
We have limited amount of time here with the representatives, so we can't have a very long question. Please be precise into your question so they can
This
give
is a
you an
very
answer.
precise question.
People
if you don't allow me, I won't ask anything else. But what is the answer for that?
So we're contracted to provide a service for X amount of hours, right? We have somebody we have two guards on shift 24/7. We feel that the level of security is sufficient for the type of community, but your question will have to bring up with management and the board and see if there is anything else that it require. But the more guards you have, the more Yeah.
Can,
surveillance.
We have a question over here on the left, please. This young lady's been waiting a long time before those hands were up. Can you give her the mic?
Yes. One second.
what's that?
Hi, I'm Michelle Polk. I live at 8 Ramsey. I have a couple of questions related to.
Yep.
to
Michelle, put the
security.
mic
Okay.
closer to your mouth, please.
Okay, 8 Ramsey, Michelle Polk. A couple of questions related to security. One is there a sergeant on duty all the time? And is that a lead person? Is that lead person trained in medical at all? There used to be a time when somebody called the nurse, and when the nurse was dispatched, security would meet them as well as the police at the person's residence. Is that still happening?
That's still happening. We are escorting, we're coming to the units,
Mhm.
right? But we're not.
Michael, we need to get,
No, no, it's my fault. I should have grabbed it first. Yes, that still is the procedure. So we are escorting them. We're coming to the property and we're meeting the nurse and we're meeting the first responders to the unit. But we don't have training in, yes.
My next question is, what kind of training do you have as far as medical? There used to be a time that if somebody had difficulty getting into the facility and carrying the person or getting them out for the EMS, they would help and assist. So what you're suggesting is that you do not do that. You go to the unit, but you don't help and assist.
So we would help and assist with anything we can, but we're not trained medical staff. There is a nurse that's going to come that doing what needs to be done as well as the responders. But we are only there to facilitate and make sure that everybody has the needed access and that there is no delay in anybody getting to the unit.
And finally, is there a consistency in guards going forward so that if I go out at 7 o'clock, the same guard is always there, as well as, consistency Monday through Friday, Saturday and Sunday, a different shift?
Yes, I think I addressed that early on. We are fully staffed. We have a set and consistent staff now. I did acknowledge that we had some turnover, but we are in a much better place and we're going to be in a great place shortly.
Tony,
address your-
could you take gentleman in the back? He's been holding his hand.
Oh,
for
sorry,
some
sorry,
time.
sorry.
His arm's got to be tired by now.
All right, I'm coming. All right.
Mike Boxer, 2 Sherwood. Whose responsibility is it when you drive around, there's cars parked on the wrong side of the street and contractors parked on the wrong side of the street? There's a problem with that. They shouldn't be parked on the wrong side of the street. I know for a contract, he's coming down, he'll park there because he's too lazy to make a U-turn. Now, is that security when they drive around?
Yeah, can you answer that question?
Yeah. No. You need the mic. You
Hold-
need the
hold
mic.
on.
You're not getting
Gotta
off
get
that
it on
easy.
the recording.
So what I'm going to say about the parking issues and all that, we cannot enforce that. I know in the past Whittingham did issue summonses for that. I don't know where the board stands, so I don't want to speak out of turn if it's turned over to Title 39 enforcement by the local police department,
No.
because that would be your other option, is to turn it over and have them enforce
Yeah.
it that way. But I'll leave that up to the board to decide that. Real quick, I just want to go back to the cameras. Yes, we do have cameras. The guards do watch the cameras at their gatehouse. I have access to the cameras as well. And correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm not sure if the board's gonna be able to, I do believe Jamie, when she was here, did have a plate reader put in at one of the gates there. So there is a plate reader that catches all license plates for that. I don't know where that information goes or how it shares. I know in the police department, when we did have plate readers, that went to a national criminal center to where we can monitor if it was a stolen car, wanted car, or whatever. I just don't know where that information's going. So there are cameras on here that we can view.
Right, we have time to take 2 more questions. So this gentleman's got his hand up. Anyone else?
Right here, I'm gonna give this.
All right, so these will be the 2 right after
Sandra
that.
Cohen,
Thank
9
you.
Northrop Road. Just to answer your question, this is a gated community, but our idea of a gated community is not. Unless you have gates and walls all the way around, anybody can walk in here at any time. All our security does is the best that they could do. But just understand, unless you put gates all the way around 4 sides of this community, which we're not doing, I don't think, that's how it is. The police have been here many, many times talking to the residents about locking their cars, not leaving them open, putting them in the garage, locking the inside door to the house, which I never did until I was sat and heard that. So we just have to trust in the security and whoever is driving around and the cameras that we do have there. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, all right, all right. Question, please.
Okay, Mark Lindell, 15 Trent Road. Are part of the responsibilities of the midnight crew when they're riding around to note the overhead lighting in the community that they're out? Okay, I think a comprehensive review should be done. I've noted, I gave a listing of 3 street lights that were out, and I've been trying to get JCP&L to fix it for about 5, 6 months now on the 2 of them on the corner of Harwood and Halifax. And it's very dark there, and I've almost hit somebody walking the dog at night. So let's get this done.
All right,
So as far as if we are reporting it, yes. So it's up to our roving guard, it's up to our roving guards to report anything that they see out of place or something that's not working, and there is a report that's submitted, and then whoever needs to be responsible for addressing those will address them.
okay. All right, well, I want to thank you, gentlemen, for coming tonight. I do appreciate you being responsive to the board and to the management in regards to the concerns that have been raised here. And if anyone has any future concerns or complaints, you know the process. You can contact the management office with the concerns. They'll get to the board, and we'll certainly look into it for you. So again, thank you for coming, and we appreciate your time.
Thank you very much for allowing us to be here. Thank you for allowing us to provide services to your lovely community. I would encourage you to please continue providing feedback. The more information we have, the better we're going to be. And this is not a 1-person or 2 or 3-person show. We need your feedback so we can address it and just continue to flow that information. And hopefully we're going to get to a place where there's nothing but positive to say. But hopefully when I come back in a month and so to check in, it's going to be just that. But know that we care and we're grateful for the opportunity. We heard you loud and clear, and we have an action plan to address all of it. And we're going to continue to do our best and to be the best part of the community. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Before we move on to the next item, I did want to let everyone know, as you can see, there's been a change here tonight. We're all sitting up here on the stage. And it's because you requested that of us. So we made the changes to be up here. I hope is it better you see us all? I know that. Okay, and I think the audio is working a little bit better at these last 2 meetings. So, I mean, that's positive too. Okay, so we weren't fully decided if we were going to remain up here or come back down onto the floor. But I think you're saying to us you want us to stay up here? Okay.
This guy has tomatoes in his pocket.
Okay, well, we'll see what we can do about the signs. But okay, well, thank you for letting us know that you approve of us being up here. Let's move on to our property manager's report. Carol Nicholson, do you have a report first, please? St. Peter's?
Yes, I have some information. I met with 2 people from St. Peter's Hospital because I know there's a concern and a request because the regular nurse during the day has not been here for quite some time. Unfortunately, she was out on medical leave and she has now left St. Peter's. So unfortunately, she will not be returning. However, they have 3 nurses that they have here for us that are on a continual basis. So at least we have that. And they're in the process of interviewing someone as a permanent nurse for the day shift. Now, I know that someone has been offered a contract and they are in the process of negotiating that contract. So hopefully they will accept the contract and we will have a permanent day nurse, but they are working on it and they are aware of the concern.
Thank you. If anyone has any questions on this, please wait until we get to the question forum part so you can ask the questions on it there. On the next, the recreation report. Kristen, anything to report?
Okay, I'll try to keep it short. I'll just go over what we have coming up. We have our Atlantic City trip on April 3rd. There's still seats available. They're $25 each. In April, we have 2 movies, April 8th, 7 p.m., Damsel, and April 17th, To Kill a Tiger. We have our April 21st show in the ballroom at 3 p.m. It's a Motown tribute. Tickets are $25 each, and there are still tickets available. The New York City Theater District bus is back in action. The first one goes May 15th, and there are still seats available. In June, we are having a car show for the first time ever. If you are a resident that wishes to register a car, there's flyers in the lobby. You can get all that information. Our June 22nd Paper Mill Playhouse trip still has tickets available to go see Beautiful, the Carole King tribute. They're $115 each. I believe we only have 3 seats available. And I just want to let everybody know that this summer, instead of doing Atlantic City every single month, we're going to try something new. And in July, we will be going to the Wind Creek Casino. And in September, we will be going to Parks Casino. And that's all I have for now.
Okay, thank you. At this point, I would like to turn the meeting over to Mark Sertz, who is the president of the Greenbrier Board, and he'll go through their business. Thank you.
I'm going to make this real easy. I don't think we have any business that needs to be addressed. Marcia Forrest, Marcia Clark, remember her? I'm sitting next to Tom Clark. I'm thinking Marcia Clark. Marcia Forrest brought something to my attention that I will look into. We did have a vote last month or so that February 8th, she was very precise when we spoke as well. And the vote was to ascertain whether or not the community approved the transition to online electronic voting. And I guess in the transition between Jamie leaving and the new folks getting in, we never really heard the results. The vote was done along the Radburn formula, which meant that if you wanted to vote no, you sent it in. If you didn't send it in, it was a yes vote. But beyond that, I don't know the results of that vote, and that's unfortunate. Marcia is correct to point out that I should, but as I said, we're all caught up in that transition. So I'll find out from the office tomorrow if they have access to the information and report it. Anybody else on the board have anything they want to bring forth? You got a button? You got some committee reports? Sure.
Okay, on the site review committee, we met in February. We dispositioned 6 applications, conducted 13 inspections. For the month of March, the committee met and we had 12 new applications. The number of applications is starting to ramp up as the people return and the weather improves. We had surprisingly 53 inspections to conduct, which is probably a high watermark. Part of that is due to the fact that homeowners do not come back to management and say, I've completed the work on my roof, I've painted my door, or whatever else it might be. In some cases, I understand people left their $250 check sitting in limbo for a few months. So anyway, I appreciate your assistance with getting back to us after the work that you put in the application for is completed. Thank you.
You'll repeat the question.
Okay. No,
Tell them what the question was.
the question, as I understand it, can you paint your door any color you choose in Greenbrier? And the answer is no. We now have, I believe it's either 13 or 14 approved colors. There is a color policy, and any door that is painted from last year on was to comply with that policy. If you have an existing color that's not in compliance, at the next time your door is painted, because it's faded, chipped, whatever, you will have the choice of one of 13 colors.
Where do they find those colors?
Go to the, well, there are two ways to do this. One, go to the Greenbrier Whittingham site and look under architectural applications, and you will see the policy and the colors. And then what I would do is, if you've identified a color you think might be close to what you're looking for, go to the management office. We have a selection of chips. There should be a set of chips up there, paint chips of the exact color. And you can take the number down and go to any paint shop you want and get that color produced.
Hello, everyone. So for newcomers, the newcomers committee has been meeting over the last month or so. They've been working very hard for an upcoming meeting, which is next week, for around 30 to 35 new residents into our community. Meeting tomorrow to actually pack the bags and do all the final planning. And then next Thursday will be the first newcomers event for this year. That's it.
There are two issues that have come up in covenants since we last reported. One was a neighbor who wanted to install a deck around their patio. We addressed it, or covenants decided to not approve it. Another was a homeowner who wanted to put lights across the front of their home, and covenants committee denied that request.
Any questions for Greenbrier? You want to step up to the mic? If you have any questions for Greenbrier? Going once, going twice. Oh, we were so close to going home. Go ahead, step up. Done. I think this is a returning champion. You are adorable.
Hi, Linda Carrazzo, 34 Leeds Lane. I'm just curious. The other day, I had the maintenance people in the back on, what do you call it? They were mowing the lawn. And then I had somebody walking behind my house with a blower. It didn't seem to be the right season, so I don't know why they were there.
It could have been, I'm not saying this, I know this for a fact, but I believe LMS is starting to do some cleanup work, but also my own gardening, outside landscaper who's doing that sort of thing. You might have been observing somebody from behind you, their
No,
landscaper cleaning the blower.
I back up right to Whittingham. So it was definitely somebody on a lawnmower, and there was definitely somebody with a backpack blowing the leaves, which I don't even understand why they'd be on a lawnmower at this time of the
Yeah.
year.
Yeah, I've seen the LMS crew out there actually this morning blowing and cleaning. It's normally done right after winter, where you have pieces of fallen branches and junk that didn't get swept away prior to winter. That's what it was.
Okay. All right.
Linda, I think what you heard was them doing leaf cleanup along Whittingham Drive.
No, they were behind my house.
Yeah,
They were
go to the
behind my
mic
house.
more.
No, like by my property, like by my patio. So it wasn't like they were by Whittingham doing anything. They were behind, they were there.
Okay.
So I was just like very surprised at this time of the year.
Yeah.
I just thought financially to have them do this kind of work was not really expeditious.
I will accept your thank you on their behalf.
I love, he's such a comedian. The only other thing I want to say is thank you to the new management company and the board that the gate, the, main gate was fixed in a day. I couldn't believe it, where we had such a problem on Prospect Plains that it was shut down for like months. So thank you very much to the new management company and whoever took care of it. It was done in a day. Thank you. Oh, and another question. Have we
Uh-oh.
signed? Wait, you know what? Don't be so rude. These are all questions for all of us. Let me ask you something. Has
Oh,
the,
hold on. Everyone, you got to give her an opportunity. She's got the microphone. We have to be courteous, please.
has the restaurant signed a contract yet?
No, the contract has been agreed upon. We were hoping to have it here tonight, but unfortunately, with attorneys and back and forth and time that it takes, we weren't able to get it for this meeting, but we will. So it's agreed upon. It's just got to be done formally. That's
Okay,
it.
can you share with us any of the amenities that we're going to be getting from the new contract?
Not until the contract is signed. I'm not going to go into any of the details of the contract.
Also, I want to know, have you done the financials for like the last 2 years? I think that was still open. Were the financials reconciled?
Financials of what?
You were supposed to be going through the financials.
We're on Greenbrier. He's bringing up an excellent point.
Well,
We're on Greenbrier's business. If you have any questions for the Wella Board, wait until the end. when we
okay,
get
all
it.
right. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Mark Lindell, 15 Trent. Just to set the record straight, Mark, LMS did a full mowing of the lawns on Halifax, Trent, and Westminster starting Monday. So
Okay. Back to the WOA board meeting.
Already, thank you. Let's go into the Wella business here. We have a contract with Modern Group proposal for a generator service of $3,049.48. Carol, do you have any more information that you can share with that?
This is the proposal for our generators. It's here in the clubhouse, and they will do maintenance 4 times a year. So they make sure that all of our generators are up and running and they are maintained 4 times a year.
All right, hold on. We can't have shouting.
For the clubhouse. I'm sorry, I didn't mean in the clubhouse. The generator for the clubhouse.
It's a,
That amount is for the year.
okay. All right, so, we'll take a vote on that. Carol, can you do a roll call, please?
Roll call for the vote.
Yes.
All right, hang on. I'm gonna squeak. So would you like to do the roll call first or the motion first?
Do I have a motion?
Do we
Who's
have a
ma-
motion for this
Who's making the
proposal?
motion?
Motion.
Okay.
Second?
I'll have a second.
All right. Then we will start. Tom Clark,
All right, I'll second it.
Kathy,
Yes.
Surjit,
Yes. Yes.
Bob Brown, Joe Antonazio,
Yes.
motion carried.
Thank you.
Next item, Garden State gutter cleaning proposal. Gutters cleaned and flushed spring and fall 2024 for a total amount of $21,964.76. Any further information on this, Carol?
I spoke with the gutter cleaning company, so they are of course waiting for this to be returned to them signed. And then we will have a schedule of when this is going to be done. As the work is being done, the community will be notified when they're going to be doing all of the gutter cleaning. So you will be notified before they come. And it'll be in May or June. Thank you.
Right,
As far as I know, it is, yes.
yes, this is only for this is Whittingham and for the clubhouse building as well. Same company, correct.
Okay, could I have a motion
All right.
for the proposal?
I'll move it.
Second?
Second.
Okay. Tom Clark,
Yes.
Kathy,
Yes.
Surjit,
Yes.
Bob?
and Joe.
Yes.
Motion carried.
The next item is for a contract with ONS Engineering Contract for services, for engineering services billed at an hourly rate as specified in the agreement. Carol, more information on this?
So this is the engineering company that we are going to work on for, first of all, our reserve study. And then I'm going to meet with them so that I can discuss whatever other projects that the board has on deck to be done. But the first major project is going to be the reserve study. Okay, can I have a motion
All
for?
right, first, are there any questions on this from anyone in the audience? Okay, seeing one question, go ahead. You got to go to the mic, we got to get you for the record.
Sandra Cohen, 9 Winthrop Road. Is this the same engineering company or it's a new one?
This is a new company.
This is a new company. It's O and.
ONS is the
O&S.
company, right? That's the
And
name.
we changed them because,
We changed them because the board felt that we needed to make a change because we have a new capital reserve study that we wanted to have a fresh set of eyes on.
thank you.
Okay, do I have a motion on this?
I'll make a motion to pass.
Motion.
Okay,
Second,
Tom,
yes?
Kathy,
Yes.
Surjeet,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes.
and Joe.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, thank you. All right, next order of business, we have a report on McDonald's from Joe Anastasio.
Wow, Anastasia, that sounds like a guy. Atanasio.
All right.
In any event,
Close enough.
the saga continues, people. We were all, many of you were at the meeting on Tuesday night. The courthouse was packed to capacity. The viewing room downstairs was half full. And the presentation was made, and after 3.5 hours, the chairman, Vincent Lafeta, decided that he was going to call for recess to give the stenographer a chance because her fingers were locking up. And I approached him and I asked him, what's the next? What are you going to do? He said, I'm going to call for public forum and then we're going to carry it. I said, okay. Call for public forum. There were 15 people online waiting to comment or ask questions. Maybe 35% of the people in the room had already left. Of the 15 people that were online, the positive comments about putting something there was 0. The negative comments were 15. So in a nutshell, people are concerned of the traffic and people are concerned with, they had to provide some sort of a proof that it was a beneficiary to the community. And they had to do that without having a negative on the quality of life in the community. That was not proven. And it was stated that over the last 5 years, there were 175 crashes in that lot. That's all. And don't forget, we had 2 years of COVID. Had not happened, it would have been 200 to 225. And when asked about putting a 4,400 square foot building in there, it was stated by me that that was like, in the words of Alice Cramden, putting 5 pounds of bologna in a 2-pound bag. It's not going to work. People are afraid to go there now. And if they put that building up, it's going to increase the fear and business is going to suffer in that lot. It seemed to me by the engineer, Mark Masronovich, he was all over this traffic guy, the traffic expert, and he pretty much hammered him. So I think the guy was stammering at the end of the speech. But in any event, the motion was, the application was carried to May 28th. Please keep that date in your head, May 28th. When the applicant heard May 28th, one of them barked at the chairman and said, what about April? And the chairman barked back and said, I have other people with applications. You're not the only application here. So he went right back at him. So on my feeling, I think it's not going to be approved, but understand this, folks. If it is not approved, these people have a lot of money, okay? And they have the right to appeal. And if they appeal this, it gets kicked further and further down the road. So we have to be diligent because our children are being put at risk here. They're putting crosswalks in. They're not going to pay for it. We have to pay for it. Someone asked about a crossing guard. That's up to us, not them. Okay, so just keep the date in mind, May 28th. Keep the fight going. It's only been 2 years. Thank you.
Okay, Joe, thank you. Anyone has questions on this, we'll bring them under the open forum. All right, so the committee reports from Greenbrier has been completed, so we're done with that. Let's move on to WOA. We have the budget and finance report.
I just want to report on what Linda had brought up. We are continuing to check financials and prepare them. We have our 2023 results. We will report on those at the first Budget and Finance Committee, as we always do, along with the first quarter. And we expect that all of that working, and we are working with First Service because we're also transitioning to their system. So we believe all of that will be ready for the first Budget and Finance Committee meeting, which should take place the end of April, early May. After we meet with Budget and Finance Committee, we will upload all those reports and financials onto the resident portal, as we've been doing, for people to review. And then at that point, we can take questions and perhaps have a meeting for, if we find that it is necessary to do so, we can have a meeting with the residents. So there, at this point, nothing to report, but very soon we will be finalizing our first quarter and reporting on all of it. I'm also going to do landscape, since I am also the landscape liaison. We did meet with landscape today. Yes, LMS, thank you for the information. LMS did report that they have started their cleaning of the community. We are looking again at what we can do to better present the community in terms of our entrances. So we're talking about Prospect Plains Road entrance and the front gate. We will be continuing conversations, but we're working on it. Other than that, I don't have anything else. I did want to say, just so everyone is clear on the items that we just voted on, the modern group proposal for the generator service, we have a generator. We need to have that serviced. The cost, $3,000, $3,050 is very reasonable. We're proceeding with that contract and just voted it in. The Garden State Gutter Cleaning Proposal, that's a contract that we use every year. We clean the gutters. It's preventive maintenance. In the long run, it saves us a lot more money than having to replace gutters more frequently. And of course, O&S engineering we spoke about.
Okay. Do we have a report covenants?
Governance, there's really nothing to report.
Okay. Entertainment.
Hi again. I've been working with Kristen and the rest of the entertainment committee on future shows in the ballroom. The last ones have been very successful, and we're looking forward to 3 or 4 different acts. We're looking at a Beach Boys tribute. We're looking at a Pat Benatar tribute. We're looking at an Eagles tribute. We're looking at a Doobie Brothers tribute. Okay, so these are being worked on right now, but the thing is, many people have access to these tribute bands, and we can go to them directly and save a few bucks without having to go to another promoter. So whenever that's possible, we're gonna do so, because these promoters, as you know, charge 10 to 15%. And like I said, when I first came on, if I can save 16 cents for this community, I'm gonna do so. So that's pretty much all we have. More to come on that, and I'm sure Kristen is gonna put out some flyers real soon. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Safety, that would be Karen. Since she's not here, does anyone have her report? All right, we'll have to hold that to the next meeting then. Do you have her? You're on the committee? Sure, please.
Hello again. So although I'm not on the WEWA board, I did serve as the co-chair on the safety committee. Prior to the meeting last month, the safety committee actually turned in a final report. And for the short term, we have dissolved the committee. So it's not moving forward any longer. We made our final recommendations. Excuse me, if the board would like to pick it up again, they can do so.
All right. Site review committee. That would be Jay. We haven't. Okay. Jay is not here, so Town center is Jay as well. So, I don't have either reports. Come on up. Come on up, Maureen. Maureen, put your, name and address in the record, please. Wait. Yeah. Problem with that microphone, if it's not used for a couple of minutes, the battery shuts it off.
Maureen Bonaguro, 74A Winthrop. The Town Center Committee met on Thursday, March 14th, and these are some of the topics that we discussed. In the fitness center, a requested punching bag was installed. Preventive maintenance on exercise machines was done on March 8th. The recumbent bike arm machine that works but has no resistance has no parts available, and to replace it, it's between $3,000 and $5,000. We were also down one treadmill, and it was suggested that instead of replacing it with another treadmill, perhaps another elliptical machine should be purchased instead. The indoor pool and locker rooms are still under discussion. The requested clock for the pool area was installed, complete with a second hand for timing. And Kristen reported that in order to install the non-slip safety strips to the men's and women's locker rooms, the floor would have to be professionally stripped at a cost of, so that's rounded to $5,000. The post renovation measurements of both rooms, the men's and ladies' locker rooms, need to be available to determine the quantity of the strips that will be purchased before we have a final estimate. B-Bistro was not discussed for obvious reasons, that they're in meetings with between George, the owner, and the board. And the open discussion area brought up two issues, which we will have to discuss in the future. Are name tags still necessary for entering the clubhouse building? Many thought not, with the exception of the indoor pool and gym. And the second topic that was the cost of outside vendors for lighting and sound systems in this clubhouse. Obvious right there. Many thought, with the exception of, no, I'm sorry, at present, no residents are allowed to do any of this work in the clubhouse. When there is a problem, some outside vendor had to be brought in. Now, the consensus was that we have many competent and experienced residents who have a background working with these systems, both lighting and sound, and probably could repair any problems without bringing in outside vendors at an unnecessary expense. It was also suggested that a committee be formed with these competent residents for future use. As I said, again, this would have to be an ongoing discussion. And that's it. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Maureen. That was an excellent report. All right, so at this point, I'm going to move the meeting into the open. Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead. Did it go off again?
Is that on? Yeah. Okay, these are safety issues, and since we don't have a safety committee, I'll bring it to the board. Someone mentioned the street lights. I have a street light around the corner for me that's been out at least 6 months, and I know we're
Okay,
not in charge of
so
fixing them.
Can we have your name and
I'm
address
sorry.
for the record?
Arlene Lazar, 37 Ardsley. I know we're not in charge of changing those bulbs, if that's all it is. But you call JCP&L and they say they'll do, they put you on a list. I think it would be incumbent upon our administration to make those calls to JCP&L every day, if you have to. Keep calling them. We have a lot of lights out. It's a dangerous situation. There's more than the 3 you mentioned, I'm sure. If you ride around at night, you see that there are many areas that are very, very dark, and that's not good.
Which lights are you talking? Are you talking about the lights within our community?
Street lights.
Outside the community?
No, inside.
Oh, on Whittingham Drive, the large ones?
No,
Okay.
on the street, on the street.
All right, I'm just trying to understand where you're talking. I mean, yes, those are our responsibility. Those are WOA's responsibility. If you put,
No, they're not. They're not. It's JCP&L.
wait a minute, all right, then I'm confused there. Hold on a second.
Okay.
Tall lights that run along Whittingham Drive are owned by, well, hang on, are owned by WOA, and are WOA's responsibilities. We
Right.
repair, we replace the bulbs. The lights that are on the streets that we drive upon, the residential streets, are put there by JCP&L. They own them, they repair them, they maintain them, and they change the bulbs. Each one of those fixtures has a number on it, and if we are supposed to report to JCP&L that number 24678 is out, and they're supposed to do something about it. But as we all know, they don't. They take this. Now, one time, one of those lamps got knocked over by a car. That they came out and responded to quickly. But changing bulb, yeah, you can, if you want to knock them down. I know that Jamie was pressing them and pressing them and pressing them and pressing them and pressing them. And, that's the situation.
We'll, thank you for bringing it to the board's attention. We'll certainly make more of an effort to try to get those
We have to
replaced.
keep nudging them is what we have to
Okay.
do. Okay, second issue. It's a smaller one. The entrance, the main entrance, coming off Half Acre Road. The entrance, it's a 2-part. There's the exit and then there's the entrance. I'm coming, making a left into this community. I don't know which direction it's in. It's not very clear. We need to have the yellow markings on the bottom. I know I have a problem when I come toward that entrance. There's the exit and then there's the entrance, but it's not very clear. I'm saying it should be clearer with a yellow. And I think at one time it was. it keeps going, the block, the big Belgian block is laying on the ground. It's been there for weeks. Why doesn't anybody see that, you know? But that should also be painted yellow so you could see it clearly. And thank you.
Bringing it to our attention. We'll look into that. Yes, we are in the open forum, so I just need your name and address for the record, and please go ahead. Is it working? Is there,
Wayne, that's a full-time job.
do we have another microphone that?
Take one of these down.
Just a clarification, Whittingham lights are WOA's responsibility,
Yes.
not JCP&L. The Whittingham lights are all WOA's. Thank you.
Name and address for the record, please.
Mimi Siegel, 19A Rutland. As my address indicates, I'm in a I'm at 19A Rutland. When we bought here, part of our agreement was that we had a security system, alarm system. And we had it with a company, and once a year they came and they checked out the system. And if you needed a new battery or whatever, they replaced it. But once a year, everything was checked out. Right after the pandemic came, somehow we lost that company. We went with something else, and then again with something else. And we have now alarms, but they are never checked. I guess we have 3 years or 4 years. They're never checked. And this didn't happen to me, but to one of my friends in the community. Something happened with her alarm, and she called the main man who's supposed to take care of it. And he was told, you have to buy a battery, and it will be $50 to put it in. Now, to the best of my knowledge, our agreement is this alarm is supposed to be taken care of by the community.
Okay. Obviously, this is going to be a
Let
question.
let me
Go
say
ahead,
a
go ahead, Sir
couple
Jay.
of things. We do, our Jose,
Yes, that's
our IT individual is trained to do the repair because he also did the fire inspections. Yes, he will come to your house to do your repair. It's billable. And you have to pay for the parts that need to be changed. It's still much cheaper than to bring somebody from outside. He had to come change in my house too, once I changed my windows. If you change your doors and windows, you
Now,
lose your original licenses.
excuse me,
so you need them to come.
that I understand. This is a different issue. This is maintenance. The alarms have never been changed since, checked rather, since we had the other company. Never. Does my alarm work? I don't know.
I will look into this alarm in particular, how often we are supposed to test them, check them. I do not know of.
Yeah, and please find out if we're responsible for changing batteries. Now, I once had my battery changed by the other company. There was no cost to me.
Like I said, I'll look into it. Alarm itself is a different issue, but the rest of the security is homeowners.
Okay, thank you.
Next speaker, please. Name and address.
Sandra Cohen, 9 Winthrop Road. Barbara knows the answer to that question, as we all do. I have 2 questions for you. Is there going to be, or maybe it was, a schedule for meetings, WOA meetings, open workshop meetings? Is there a schedule, like
Yeah.
once a month? Is there?
Yeah, there's a schedule. It should
All right.
be.
Is there going to be meetings during the day as we used to have them, or is it only,
Right now, all meetings are planned for the evening at 6:30
why is that?
because we get greater attendance.
Really? But what about the people who don't go out at night?
Well, we have a Zoom for them if they can't make the meeting.
Well,
I
if
mean,
they can't get out at night, they don't often
Well-
get involved in Zoom. It had always been, I'm living here 21 years, there was a meeting in the morning and I worked, so I didn't make that one and I made the evening one. There was one during the day and one in the evening.
I could
and a
assure you that if
joint
we
one.
moved everything to the day, the people who are sitting here this evening would
I
probably
didn't say,
be
I
clear.
didn't say move everything to the day, Tom. I said a day meeting, a workshop meeting, and a WOA meeting at night, as Greenbrier has a meeting at night. I didn't say move everything to the
Alright.
day.
What we're doing is having consistency, having all the meetings at the same time during the evening hours. And, everyone's telling me and my own observation that it's working because we're getting a good amount of people who attend the
We have
meetings.
got a very good amounts of people when we were talking about the restaurant. So
Well-
there were more people in there that day than ever.
Well, this
But
is-
you're leaving out an enormous amount of people who are here all the time. And
Sandra,
think
I
you should
understand you don't agree
reconsider.
with it, but this is what this new board has decided to do moving forward and
Okay,
keeping.
so
these
you have
meetings at this-
1,600 people. So you have 1,600 homes and you're only concerned with the very new people who are here. That's what I'm hearing. Okay. All right.
I don't think anyone said that. So,
Well, by leaving
don't
out
think
half of the
anybody said that.
community, that's what you're doing.
okay,
Why
well,
can't you give us some kind of an idea about what is happening with the restaurant?
I just told you the contract is not signed and you cannot discuss a contract at a public forum that's not signed yet. So I can't do that. It'd be unethical to do such a thing.
Okay, because I want to book something in the summer and I can't because I don't know if he's going to be here.
I can't give you any advice on that. I'm just telling you that
Are you very
we have an
close?
agreement with the gentleman, but it's not official. And so I cannot give you the details of the contract. That's what you're asking. So, I mean, if you want to go ahead and book it, go ahead and book it. Talk to George and see what he tells you. But I cannot talk about that contract at this forum at this time. All right, thank you. Next speaker, please. Anyone else?
Barbara Rackbuck, 10C Rodley. Just to clarify the issue on the inspection of the alarm systems. One, Jose knows if your alarm goes down because it goes on his board. Two, 84 homes each year will be inspected by a fire chief and an electrician. At that time, they will replace the battery free of charge. If you think your battery is low, you can call Jose and ask him to come and check it. He can actually probably check it remotely. But at this point, we're doing 84 homes a year for fire and alarm systems.
Okay, great. Thank you.
That is correct. We're supposed to do this, that's the minimum number. So eventually, all the homes will be checked.
Paul Klarman, 41 Winton's Way. It was suggested that some of the residents do work in the building. That should be taboo. You have an insurance issue. So nobody should be working from the residents unless the insurance is covered. Secondly, we had a stormwater committee for years because that is a big number. We have a deteriorating system with huge pipes underground going throughout the community. What is happening with that?
I don't have anything to report on that. I'm not aware that there's any
Well,
ongoing.
it should be looked into because, as I say, you're talking about tens of
Yes.
thousands of dollars.
Right, these concerns were raised at the last meeting and we're aware of it. And yeah, as maintenance is needed, we certainly take care of it. Okay, anyone else? Right. All right. All right, this will be the last gentleman coming up. He'll be the last speaker of the night. Okay, go ahead.
Good evening,
Sir,
Board.
Go ahead.
I'm James Perillo, 59 Harwood Road. The few questions I have is the generator for the clubhouse. Does that generator supply power to this 100% building of this property?
You can't have the comments. Okay.
I got the
I
answer.
appreciate your comments, but I mean, we're not picking it up, so we.
We're good, Tom. We're good. The next question is, now that's, the winter season is over, I noticed the landscapers were out doing damage repair to the equipment they were using to remove snow. I had an issue with my front lawn. They
Oh,
were
yeah.
there yesterday. They fixed it.
Great.
As far as the sprinkler head, that wasn't fixed, but they sent somebody. He's working on it. The other thing I would like to bring to your attention is, I noticed that when they do the lawns in the summertime, they're blowing debris into the catch basins, leaves and so on. I think that is a bad idea. Eventually it'll clog the system. We'll have poor drainage, and eventually things will start to rot away due to, stuff being sitting in there. I live on the back of a golf course. There's a lot of branches that fell down during the wind. They're not picked up. They're blown along the tree line from the golf course and my property line. So either I pick them up or the landscapers are supposed to pick it up. I don't know. So if you can guide me on that, I would appreciate it.
I'm not sure, is it on what was property, or Greenbrier's property, or is it on the golf course property? I'm not
That's
sure.
that's what I'm saying, where the white markers are for the golf course and the property line of the back houses on the golf course.
Okay,
There's tree line there and all the branches fall and they just lay there. Some of them are pretty big, some of them not. I noticed the other day when they were out there blowing, nothing was picked up. They just did around the side of my house and the front and then into the street, and then they mowed or vacuumed the leaves up over there. You, I don't want to confuse you, but they
Yeah.
blow the leaves from the back, down the side to the front of the house.
Right,
and
I
They
got
mow
you.
them,
I got you.
to knock them
I
down.
got you.
But the big items like the branches and twigs are still there. I don't
Okay.
know who picks them up, but if I have to, I'll do it.
Yeah,
just
no,
don't-
no, you shouldn't have to touch those, no.
Okay.
You should
And
not.
more importantly, 2 meetings ago, someone was talking about an issue that really bothered me, and I rudely yelled out something. Well, not rude, but I interrupted your meeting, and I just want to let you know, I apologize for interrupting your meeting. And you guys are doing a great job, and keep up the great work.
I
Thank you.
appreciate the comments, and there was no need to apologize. Thank you, though.
Mark Lindell, 15 Trent Road. This is a question for Kristen, as far as entertainment. Okay. I'm in one of the offices of GW Friends, and we established a calendar for our monthly meeting as the fourth Monday night of each month, except for April because of the Jewish holiday we're a week earlier. Is there any master list of all the clubs having activities? Because we have April 15th for our monthly meeting, and my wife is on the entertainment committee for Women's Ort and Hadassah are having their Women's Seder on the 15th. So in order not to have conflicts between the clubs and have maximum attendance at everybody's events, we have a master calendar established that there aren't conflicts in the future.
Yeah, Kristen, you
So-
can handle it.
Many of our clubs check with me, and anything anybody tells me, I put on my calendar. So if somebody comes in and says, can I have April 15th? I would say, there's another event. It's up to you if you still want to go ahead and do it. So it's up to the clubs. I mean, if somebody has the ballroom and somebody wants to do something off-site, we can't stop them. But I make them aware. And then the club list states like the GW Friends is the fourth Monday of every month.
Right.
The club list states that, so that's another place that you could find it.
I'm just saying that all reminders should be sent to all the clubs in the community to contact you to make sure and have a listing of the conflicts. So everybody's aware of it, because both clubs are going to suffer because of.
I know that everybody does not read the Voice, but I could put something in the Voice about that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right.
This will be the last speaker of the evening, please.
Mike
Name-
Boxer, 2 Sherwood. I know when you hire a contractor, it's my own experience, you make sure that that contractor has the appropriate equipment. And my issue is with LMS. And I've been told in the past that we're a commercial facility, so they use commercial mowers. We're not commercial, we're residential. And I'm not the only one that complains about how they do the lawns. They do not know how to do the lawns. And a lot of it, I can't blame on them, because they hire people every year because they can't find anybody that has experience. They just give somebody a mower and go drive. We have to really look at the issue of smaller mowers for LMS. They should have the appropriate equipment when they sign a contract, and the board should make sure. Because I'm tired of them putting ruts in my lawn. And the season's gonna start, and it's gonna go all over again. And then I have my own battery operated lawnmower, and I clean up all the mess that they make. And I don't think that's right. Not that I don't mind doing it, but I've never had lawn care the way it's been done here. It's just terrible.
This, Michael, this question you bring up has been discussed a fair number of times in the past.
I'm
The
bringing it up to the new board now.
Well, okay, when it comes to LMS, we share a relationship because this board is responsible for the LMS activity on Greenbrier property.
Mhm.
And this board is
Right.
responsible for the LMS activity on the Whittingham and Woa property. The issue that you're bringing up is largely centered on the Greenbrier property, I believe. And the
Okay.
issue has surfaced in the past. LMS uses lawnmowers of a very large width. I don't know. what
Commercial
it's
mowers.
called, 48-inch, something like
Yeah, they're
that.
commercial.
Yeah, big commercial mowers. They stand on them and they move them about like bumper cars in Coney Island.
Yeah, you're right.
We have reached the subject with them of using smaller mowers, which would be less likely to damage the earth because these big mowers are heavier. They have a certain turning radius,
Right, I
and
know.
they make sharp turns in our traditionally soggy earth. We have a percolation problem throughout the community that we inherited from the developer of the property. We have discussed and have addressed the issue of using smaller lawnmowers, but now you're talking about something that you're gonna have to literally double the man hours to cut the same amount of grass with the smaller mower than you are with the bigger mower. And at the end of the day, when we looked at the numbers, there wasn't enough enthusiasm from the community, but what the additional cost would be to do that.
What's the additional cost for the LMS for doing the lawns? Yeah, if I
Say
have to
again,
pay
I'm
a few
sorry?
dollars more, I don't mind.
Well, it's not-
Or I'd rather get my own lawn company to do
You
it.
know, the vast majority of the expense of doing the lawns are twofold. One is gasoline and
Yeah.
one is manpower.
Mhm.
And manpower being the much bigger one of the two. So if they go to half-sized lawnmowers, you have to double the manpower. It's that simple, man hours. It's that simple.
Yeah, because, hey, Mark, because the main drag is always beautiful, which is great because people come in, you have new residents come in, they see how nice it is. You go outside the main drag and the lawns look like crap, by
Well,
English.
I still feel that on balance, if you squint your eyes as you walk down the streets of our
I'm
community,
not gonna squint my eyes, Mark.
it
You can.
looks kind of nice to me. Now, I don't walk up to the lawns with a magnifying glass. That would make but I'm just saying in general, I think we really look nice. Now, having said that, there is another process that LMS can use called estate care. And this is the kind of lawn care you got when you were in your home in Manalapan or Marlboro or South Brunswick, wherever you were. They came once a week. It cost you a good deal more money than it costs for you to have it done here, but you got a level of care that is referred to in the industry as estate care. We have looked into that too. And again, the cost of doing it would be considerably more. So I just squint my eyes.
You're always squinting.
I know. I get it, Michael. I absolutely get it, but
All right, thank you. That'll close the open forum. I'd like to have a motion on the floor to adjourn the meeting. I have a move by Joe and a second.
I'll second it.
Okay, all right. Thank you all very much for attending tonight's meeting.